How's it going, eh? Welcome to another video of Factorio, and today I'm basically going to be chatting about upgrading our production line. And I don't mean like some of the boring stuff. I mean, I have done all the boring stuff. I'm just sort of upgrading the base as usual, and the only reason is that we've reached a couple more milestones. So in the last video, I was trying to talk about, or I wanted to, get beacons and some better modules. Now I want these things because I want productivity modules to be used in everything, and likewise I want speed modules so I don't have to build massive, complicated sort of factories just to get the tiniest amount of resources out. So I've done quite a lot of stuff around the base, but first things first, I started to upgrade our main mall here with these really expensive tiles from Krastorio. I say expensive because you basically need to make concrete, or sorry, you need to make bricks, turn that into concrete, turn the concrete into refined concrete, then you turn that into these reinforced plates, which require steel. So we basically had doubled our bricks, undoubled the bricks, and then actually halved those bricks again. So I've done that. I also have some normal concrete here. I've used Dectorio's sort of black and white color though. And then I have the actual concrete. This is reinforced concrete or refined concrete. Sort of give it this nice little pattern here like that. It looks very cool when you zoom out and you can see all of the various structures being built here, and it's got a nice pattern. I'm not sure what to do here on the edges, but I'm just gonna do this for now. Just keep it nice and simple. I actually realized there was a bit of a problem at some point. So I have 380,000 rare metals in my system. I'm not sure how that happened. Now, this 380,000 is right here in the main system. This coal gravel is somewhere else. The wood is also here. The landfill is somewhere else. We also have like a lot of stone, sand, copper ore. There's a lot of resources in here, and I kind of need to get them like out of here. For things like inserter parts or automation cores, those aren't really a big deal because those are going to get used to make inserters and whatnot. But having iron, copper, enriched ore, that's just a genuine waste of resources. Like, there's absolutely no reason that we need any of those in here. Those need to be turned into plates and materials to actually be used in the base. So what had happened was I had a chest up here at the top, and in this chest there was rare metals. I had an unstacker here for the rare metals, and I had a requester chest over here requesting all stacked materials. So it was basically constantly requesting the stacked metals, as we can see here, and then unstacking them and putting them into the logistics system. So I'm not really sure what to do with that many rare metals. I wouldn't be surprised if they filled up an entire chest by themselves, but that's a problem that I'm probably gonna have to figure out. Like, it's just a massive waste of storage. I have no idea why it's here and kind of what's going on. So I have a few solutions for that, of course. They require me to have more logistics bots, I guess. I need to place them. I need to place some requester chests here and sort of request items to be filled. For example, I can make these chests right here that have the copper ore. I can make all of them requester chests that request a ton of copper from the system, making sure all of our copper ore ends up coming back here. Likewise with the enriched copper, I just go to the station where that's being smelted, like right here, and I would just request a very large amount of enriched copper to be here. And then what should happen is the drone should be able to provide the resources here pretty quickly, reduce the amount of trains that are used, and prioritize the resources that are in our system. I have claimed some coal, some copper, some more stone, some more iron, and yeah, here's our copper setup sort of. Got some immersite right here. And this is a really good one, 25 million. We have a ton of oil over here. So what I've done is, because I really like aesthetics of a base and stuff are really important to me. So what I've done is these ores were not exactly where they are, obviously. They didn't just line up with my base perfectly. So I basically used this editor, and I would get to the clone section, and I would basically grab, right, an area like this. So if I saw some ore that was kind of, sometimes the ore is like right here, like in a weird spot. So I would clone it, I moved it, and then I just deleted the other ore to make sure that it sort of lined up with my grid. It wasn't where my intersections were or any planned rails were, so I can fit my sort of 3x3 grid going on here. And there was a couple little oil patches of like 3 or 4 just kind of spread out around here. So I just compiled them all into one place to just reduce the headache of screwing with that. Because at the end of the day, it's not like I'm not spawning resources, I'm just making them mildly more convenient to access, right? So as we saw, I've also redone my copper enrichment. So here we are. This can enrich 120 is what we're going for. Copper per second, or like it consumes a lot. So I have this nice setup here. It requests sulfur. It sends out items. You know, it processes everything, and then they come out as enriched copper. I have one of those, and then I have 2 smelting areas, and those give me 60 per second. So I have 2 of those for the 120. Did the exact same thing for iron over here. I'm not sure if I'm witnessing a bug here or what's going on. Yeah, some stacked iron got into this, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that. I have made productivity adjustments to our red circuits and green circuits as well, or not too much on the green circuits. Because I was able to upgrade the assembling machines, it actually didn't make the biggest difference because we just went from 0.75 to 0.5. Because if you upgrade the machines and put all productivity modules in them, they're basically as quick as the starting assemblers at that point. However, they just save way more resources. I haven't done this to any of our plastic, so plastic and oil is still relatively untouched. There's no productivity going on there at all. But that's just because we have such a ridiculous amount of oil in our massive area that we've taken over that I'm not really concerned about it. I've also done it for sand, so basically I just kind of went for this method where it's like really nice and clean looking. Kind of almost looks like, I don't know how to explain this. It's like a claw machine, or I'm not 100% sure. So this makes a lot of sand per second potentially. However, most of it is being used instantly. So like for example, the filtering here, 200 sand per second just for the 120. And that quartz can get smashed by this tiny smelting system right here. This makes me 60 per second quartz. I have a sand smelter down here. So it's important to know that I'm using productivity modules in all of this. And these aren't even like end game smelting builds by any means. There's still one more thing we could be doing along with the beacons of that type. So there's these smaller beacons that are even better than the big beacons, and you can use both of them together on a machine. There's also machines that can hold 2 more productivity modules and do smelting, and they're bigger so they can get more beacons on them. So there would still be another step in the upgrading. I did make an electronic component setup here. This one was a bit complicated just because of the amount of items it requires for an electronic component, but we have something that basically turns 60 plastic, silicon, and glass per second into a lot of electronic components. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I've just been making a couple of these really slick builds here. We have enough modules at this moment to do whatever I want. Like, they're not even a limiting factor anymore. So after a bit of tomfoolery, we get something that looks like this. I have it so these are... It's a bit confusing. It doesn't help that everything's blinking. Let's play some of these for a second. So these places on here puts on the left side. This place is there on the right side. Yeah. These belts are just for inserting. And then I insert from the top side to allow me to have the room for the belt like that. And I had to curve it in here. So I have this placing close to simulate the effect of it placing on the right side. So we'll end up on the right side later down the belt. That is pretty much it. This should work. I need to upgrade this belt running directly to the left, and then the one going up the middle. So these total center belts should be blue. So now, of course, I need to find a way to sneak some power in here. Sometimes I can't center them perfectly, so then I'll just make them biased to some sort of direction, usually up or down, based on the main track. Yeah, so now I need to worry about how to get these resources in. That's gonna be... This part's usually the tricky part, especially because these require 3 different resources. We might end up seeing something pretty similar to how this one came out. All right, and here's the beltage sort of setup. And I think that looks pretty okay going in. I like it a bit more than whatever I did over here. Thinking about it now, I probably could have made this the exact same way, but I didn't. The nice thing about this one is it doesn't take up these side areas. Ooh, what's going on here with this item? Yeah, this one is a bit cleaner looking because it fits this theme better, like of those. This one doesn't quite fit that one. It's pretty good though. The output fits it pretty good. These should be all routed now. And these ones will actually have like symmetrical sort of setup. So I have, for example, on each belt, the copper will be on the outermost belt every single time. Ooh, hang on a minute. I didn't think about that, did I? Copper needs to be on the inside belt. So that means that the train would need to be in the middle, like no negotiations. The copper belt does matter, the other ones do not. So copper should always be in the middle because this is our copper train. And then we have it come out through the middle, and then here, down here, and then it comes on these ones, and those are also going through the middle. So if I connect this should just work. The train's on the way, train on the way. I think that train's on the way to come here. He should loop here, right? None of the other trains are moving, so he should come, loop around and come here. Yeah, there it is. Copper's coming. The wood one might take a second to get here, unfortunately. And because all the speed modules are placed here, like at the same time. So that's the wood. There we go. This can indeed keep up with the copper wires with our current setup. And that's the circuit setup. That took a little longer than I was hoping, but yeah. So I'll probably build this exact same thing, literally exact same thing for red circuits. Yeah, but that's pretty much it. So I'm hoping for the next episode, because I have quite a bit of work here to do, because I'm going to change the way I do this stuff, right? So next episode is going to be most likely getting the Immersium sort of set up, automated. Then after that one, hopefully it's something about, you know, getting the Singularity Labs and doing a really cool, ginormous sort of science area. I don't know if I want to put it here. I'm not sure where to put it. I could put it here because I have solar panels just as placeholders right now. So I want to do like a massive 3x3 area just for the science labs, just totally overkill for no reason. In case we ever mega base, you know, then it can be your sort of science area. That's going to be 2 episodes from now. We're going to do Immersite stuff next episode. And I'm just going to continue cleaning this stuff up. And because that's sort of like grunt work that doesn't really matter, I'm probably going to stream that. And that's how I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to try to have clear ideas for the videos and, you know, execute those off stream and just make them happen. And then on stream, I'll do more grunt work. So like, you know, like doing this up and whatever. We know how I'm doing it. I've showed it. Like, it's not a surprise. There's really no point in showing this anymore, like this sort of setup. But yeah, thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode. And yeah, yep.